just how slick it is out there once you get out of the groove. That's why we're keeping the Packard cars high and the Sportsman cars low.
Sight after we've seen nothing but mud all weekend long here and all day long. And boy, I'll tell you, it took a lot of work and a lot of teamwork on behalf of a lot of people here this weekend at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Of course, we told you earlier, the Mechanicstown Volunteer Fire Department, we would not be doing what we're doing right now had it not been for their efforts out here this afternoon. And I'll tell you what, a lot of praise goes out to the Mechanicstown Volunteer Fire Department. They helped us get the green flags out here this evening at the Orange County Speedway. They pumped out about 50,000 gallons of water from the infield this evening and, of course, from the backstretch area. The Parking Lot Packers, you are faithful members of the PLP Racing Club, and I'll tell you what, we couldn't have done it without you here this evening. Many thanks to all, and, of course, we'll be seeing you at the car wash a little bit later on tomorrow morning. As the field rolls down throughout turns number 3 and 4, the Olson Todd Oldsmobile, the 1995 Cutlass Supreme SL Edition, the pace car here at the Orange County Speedway, brought to us, of course, by Olson Todd Oldsmobile Cadillac, Route 32 in Central Valley, New York, just 1 mile from the Woodbury Commons. Many thanks out to the Todd family for their long-term support here at the Orange County Speedway. As the field comes down the home straightaway right now, and they are set to go racing, dirt sportsman style, here at the Orange County Fair Speedway this evening. Down to the inside, ladies and gentlemen, here we come on a turn number 4. The first green flag this afternoon will fly, and the field down away. Down to turn number 1, Tommy Hall, at 18 Properties, number 4 car, off to the inside corner. He'll take that field for a ride down the back straightaway. Hall sees the daylight down the back chute right now. Callan Somerville moves to the outside. Here comes Chris DuBois. DuBois riding aboard the Thorndale Farms. Beats the number 34 car. He'll suck tightly into the backside. Down to the inside part of the speedway, they'll ride for the number 2 spot. Here we come at turn number 2. Down the home straightaway right now. Tommy Hall, he can hear the horsepower behind him. Somerville powers up, puts the nose off to the inside line. Wheel to wheel, they'll drag race down in turn number 2 right now. And Somerville slingshots down the back straightaway to grab the number 1 position. Callan Somerville out of Washington Township, New Jersey, the Ford Ice Construction number 33 C car. He'll take that field down in turns number 3 and 4 right now, and he comes under fire by Tommy Hall back there. Hall drops back to the inside of turn number 2. Here comes the Thorndale Farms car. Pete's Pizza sponsored bout. Chris DuBois behind the wheel. Eric Arrell on the inside. Arrell off to the inside of Tommy Green. Will pick up that final qualifying position. 4 cars will transfer down to that 75-lap feature event down the back straightaway. Eric Arrell out of Carmel, New York, the number 72 car, sits back there in the hot seat position right now. Arrell onto the inside, part of the speedway on a turn number 4, holds on to that final transfer spot. Tommy Green now 1 spot from qualifying. Colin Somerville tucks it back onto the inside, part of the speedway. 3 cars will fight for the number 2 spot. Here comes DuBois. DuBois grabs it. Eric Arrell slides by for spot number 3. Tommy Hall now gets put on the bubble back there, riding aboard the number 4 car. 4 cars will transfer. 4 to qualify right now. Tommy Hall riding aboard the Nadine Properties number 4 car, sits himself in a hot seat back there in the number 4 spot. Halfway point comes out, 4 laps down, and 4 to go. Eric Arrell, he'll take Chris DuBois as a drafting partner down the back straightaway. DuBois drops it back down to the inside. Line of traffic. Arrell tries to close the door back there in the number 3 position. Arrell comes under fire down to turn number 3 right now, and he'll put the heat on DuBois coming out of turn number 4. DuBois can feel the pressure. He'll take him as a drafting partner down the home straightaway. Nobody steps out of line, but Arrell looks down to the inside part of the speedway. Chris DuBois slides to the outside, side by side. They'll take it out of turn number 2 this time. They'll drag race him down the back straightaway for the number 2 position. It's Arrell on the inside, part of the racetrack. Eric Arrell coming from the number 7 spot just 5 laps ago, all the way up to the number 2 position of the field right now. Field coming out of turn number 4 this time. We'll roll up across the mark. 5 laps, 6 laps have now been scored. 6 down, just 2 more times to go. Time winding down for Colin Somerville as he takes that car for a ride down the back straightaway. Eric Arrell rides back there in the number 2 spot. A whole lot of elbow space now has been garnered up between the top 4 campaigners. Tommy Hall back there holding on to the number 4 spot. White flag comes out. One more time around as the number 33 car, Colin Somerville, crossing the mark right now aboard that Fordyce Construction number 33 car. Eric Arell trying to close the gap. Last lap action coming out of turn number 2 this time. Down the back straightaway. Arell holds on to the number 2 spot. Chris DuBois still 3rd. Tommy Hall 4th. 5th spot, 1 spot from transferring, and Tommy Green running aboard the number 15 car. Checkered flag coming out this time. The winner of the first Dirt Sportsman qualifying heat event, it's Colin Somerville. 2nd spot, Eric Arell. 3rd, Chris DuBois, and 4th, the 4 car of Tommy Hall. So the winner once again of that first Dirt Sportsman qualifying heat event, the number 33C of Colin Somerville. 2nd spot once again was the number 72 of Eric Arell. 3rd, Chris DuBois, and 4th, the number 4 of Tommy Hall. 2nd qualifying heat event on the grid. Here's Joe Murata.
Thanks, Tim. Here we go. The 2nd qualifying heat. For those of you Chrysler fans, the Mopar car number 14D of Jeff Halsapple will be going away on the pole. Current point leader, car number 99 of Paul F. Vitale, Robinson Concrete. Car number 99 of Chuck Bauer goes on the outside of row number 1. Billy Dunn, car number 47 in the 3rd starting spot. Inside that 2nd row on the outside will be Stan Jamblock in the 44. Eric Ehrman in car number 32 goes inside the 3rd row. John Levy on the outside in car number 10 Junior. Kevin Cross, car number 29 inside the 4th row on the outside. Tim Heinley in car number 17H. Row number 5 will be Glenn Daly in car number 14T. On the outside, Greg Slate in car number 19. Last row will be Rusty Gancher in car number 119. Ed Eager on the outside in car number 327. The Todd Oldsmobile remaining out there on the Speedway racing surface as the yellow lights are still on, and we got a problem up there in the number 2 corner. Rusty Graniker, car number 119, going away from the 11th starting position here in this 2nd qualifying heat. Boy, this one is really loaded with some star-studded Sportsman chauffeurs in it. Halsapple going away on the pole in car number 14D in the Mopar-powered machine. Chuck Bauer in the Paul F. Vitale, Robinson Concrete, wheels car number 99. The Todd Oldsmobile gets set to depart the Speedway. Car number 44, Stan Jamblanca, the 1995 Sportsman champion here at the Speedway, starting in the 4th position. The Todd Oldsmobile swung in. Now they're ready to go racing. Halsapple on the pole, Bauer on the outside. Halsapple brings it down out of turn number 4. The green lights are on, a hammer down. Halsapple on the inside. The Chevrolet of Bauer guns his way up to the number 1 qualifying position. Here comes the 32 of Eric Ehrman. He comes up on the inside, gets a good bite. Halsapple, though, wins the number 2 qualifying spot as they go down the back straightaway, shuffle around in there into that number 3 corner. Bauer, car number 99, current point leader, holds on to a slim lead as they come out of turn number 4 and head him down the front straightaway. Halsapple is 2nd, Ehrman riding back there 3rd, and the 44, Jablanca, currently in that final qualifying spot. We've got a battle now shaping up for the number 1 qualifying position as they work off the number 2 corner. Bauer in a Paul F. Vitale Robinson Concrete car holds about a 2-car advantage going down into the number 3 corner, but here comes the Mopar Halsapple as he looks down onto the inside, almost had a wheel on there, backed out and chases him coming down the front straightaway. Roman still riding back in the number 3 spot. Jamblanca riding in the number 4 position. One of the top 4 cars could be smoking, and it's Ehrman in car number 32 getting spun around in the number 2 corner just at the entrance of turn number 2. We got caution coming out onto the Speedway here. We are still shy of the halfway point. It'll be a double file restart. Chuck Bauer, car number 99, will be going up on the point, but we'll see whether he takes the inside or outside restart spot, as the leader has his option whether to go inside or outside. He's going to stay on the inside. Halsapple is seen going down into the number 1 corner. So this changes the complexity of the 2nd qualifying heat. Eric Earlman will also be going to the rear as he did bring the caution out. 32 and the 44. Hindley, car number 17H, the defending champion of this Nadine Properties event. It was a 50-lap event last year, led all 50 laps. This year, 75. So the work cut out for these chauffeurs here in the Sportsman division as they are vying for, of course, the $4,000 first place money restart. The Olson Todd Oldsmobile pace car gets set to depart the Speedway as they move down into the number 3 corner. Ladies and gentlemen, watch this restart. It could spell the outcome of this event. Kevin Cross rides in the number 3 spot. Tim Hindley in the number 4 position. 4 cars will qualify. Pace car is in. We're about set to restart. It's the Chevrolet against the Mopar. Mopar on the outside. Hammer down, coming out of the corner. And they come drag racing down the front straightaway. Sample in the Mopar. Inches ahead going down to the number 1 corner. Bauer, though, rides right with him. Bauer trying to stay down onto the inside. The Chevrolet works on the inside part of the Speedway, moving down the back straightaway. Sample rides right there in the number 2 qualifying position. Nerf bar, down they go in between the corners. It's Sample, now the leader, coming out of the corner and down the front straightaway. Bauer rides right there in the number 2 spot. Kevin Cross in car number 29 in number 3 position in Hindley, holding on to that 4th and final qualifying spot. Remember, heads up start. It's a heads up start, so the winner of the second qualifying heat will be going outside pole. Sample right now in car number 14D, the Mopar, holds on to that number 1 qualifying position, but Chuck Bauer presses hard as they come off at turn number 2. Now Burrow trying to hold on to that number 2 position. Drafts going down the back straightaway. Comes in hard into the number 3 corner. Moves in between the corners. Sample on the outside gets a better fight coming down the front straightaway. Sample 4.5, 5 car advantage. Going down to the number 1 corner. Bauer smokes going down into that number 1 turn. Chuck Bauer, current point leader, holds on to the number 2 qualifying position. Kevin Cross still rides back there in the number 3 spot. It's Tim Hindley in car number 17H here with 2 laps coming up for that 4th and final qualifying spot. 2 laps to go. The sign onto the Speedway as they come chasing down the front straightaway. Hindley riding in that final qualifying position. Slate, car number 19, riding 5th and out of a qualifying position. He's got a long way to go and a short time to do it. White flag ready to come out. Jeff Halsample, one more time around the Speedway for the Chrysler-powered car number 14D. Here's Bauer now trying to close in on him. Bauer makes a bid going down into that number 1 corner. He stretches it out going down the back straightaway. That's Halsample now with a 9.5 car advantage going down into the number 3 corner. Halsample keeping it down onto the inside. Halsample babbles a little bit into the corner. Halsample, the Chrysler, comes down. He's going to take Tuit. It's Bauer in the number 2 position. Kevin Cross 3rd and Tim Hindley in that 4th and final qualifying position. Hindley qualifies in that 4th and final qualifying spot. Out of a qualifying position is Greg Slate as he finishes in the number 5 position. Great run for the Halsample Green Machine as he brings it home in the number 1 position. Qualifying heat number 3 are ready to take the grid, and here's Tim Pitts.
Third qualifying heat event brought to us by Nadine Properties. Set to take off to the Speedway right now. Tony Paez riding aboard the number 31 car. We'll go way up there in the number 1 spot. On the outside, riding aboard the 77X car, that's Jimmy Sorensen. Row number 2, 3rd spot on the inside, the 538 of Jerry Wynn. Alongside Jerry aboard the number 68 machine, that's Alex Friesen. 3rd row on the inside, spot number 5, the 81 of Bill Richards. On the outside of Bill, behind the controls of car number 44K, that's Lane Krapinski. Row number 4, in 7th spot on the inside, this 27X car is Eddie Render. Going away on the outside aboard the 53D is Jake Schlegel. Row number 5 on the inside, the number 6 of Martin Grang. On the outside is the number 51 JF Jimmy Van Anden. Then back in row number 6, riding aboard the number 30 car is Mark Pullen. And alongside Pullen aboard the number 90 is Carol Birchwell. That's how we'll go racing right now for this, the third Nadine Properties Dirt Sportsman qualifying heat event. Remember, 8 laps, top 4 cars transfer directly into the 75-lap, $4,000 to win Nadine Properties feature event. Jimmy Sorensen aboard the 77 car. He's got himself a feature win this year here at the Orange County Speedway. And the controls of the pace cars, he's been for about 8 years here at the Orange County Speedway, a former small block modified campaigner here at the fairgrounds. Olson Todd pace car safely down behind pit wall. We get set to go racing. Third qualifying heat event for the Dirt Sportsman division. Field rumbles out of turn number 4 this time. Kenny Marshall with assistant starter Paul Phillips on the perch. Green flag flies. Field quickly up to the gearbox. Third heat event now underway. Tony Paez grabbed the number 1 spot right off the get-go. He'll take that pack up to the gearbox down in turn number 2 this time. Jimmy Sorensen back there riding aboard the 77X car. Holds on to the number 2 spot. Alex Friesenbach riding aboard the number 68 car. Holds on to the number 3 spot. Cherry Wynn dropping back in the number 4 spot, riding aboard the 538 car, out of turn number 4 this time. Top 4 cars all tuck it back in line, down across the bar to complete lap number 1. Friesen closing the door on Jimmy Sorensen, riding aboard the Jim Bush Trucking number 77 car. Friesen steps out of line, wrong spot of the speedway to do that. He'll tuck it back in line and gather up some elbow space between the top 3 campaigners. Richards out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, the Canaiso Racing number 81 car. Back there in the number 5 spot one now. He'll need one more spot of the field to find himself in that feature event lineup here this evening. Richards back aboard the number 81 machine. Eddie Redder from right here in Middletown, New York, works back there in the number 27 car. Currently riding 6th of the field. Redner looks off to the inside. He'll break his move on Richards this time. Rolling down the back straightaway. Top 4 cars hold the rest of the field at bay. Jerry Wynn back there aboard the number 538 car. Holds on to the final transfer spot. Field works their way out of turn number 4 this time. Down across the stripe. Tony Paez still shows the way aboard the number 31 machine. The Landscape Innovators mount. Sorensen back there aboard the number 77 car. Holds on to the number 2 spot. Top 2 cars. Put some moonlight between the rest of the field right now. Friesen holds on to the number 3 spot. Wynn back there in spot number 4. Bill Richards slowly but surely closing the gap back there. Riding aboard the number 81 machine. Richards will try to work on the inside part of the speedway. Coming out of turn number 4 this time. Halfway comes out. 4 laps down. 4 to go. Here comes Sorensen. He'll take a peek down to the inside part of the speedway. Paez chops off to the inside, builds up the RPMs early, going down the back straightaway. He'll hold the rest of the field at bay right now and put some space between himself and second place running Sorensen. Alex Friesen still holds on to the number 3 spot. Cherry Wynn back there aboard the number 538 car. He'll lead that freight train out of turn number 4 this time, holding on to the number 4 spot. 5th place that battle is on, Redner and Jake Schlegel. Schlegel makes a move onto the inside. Jake Schlegel riding aboard the 53D car, started back in the number 8 spot. And he'll be working for a qualifying position. 5 laps are scored, 6 coming up this time around. Just 2 more laps to go. Watch Jake Schlegel. That Harry Davis Trucking 53 car down to the inside, part of the speedway. Schlegel makes a move for the number 4 spot. Drag racing down across the park right now. The final transfer spot going up for grabs. 6 down, 2 to go. Schlegel on the inside part of the speedway. The Doug Saunders Excavating number 53D car now seeing daylight for the final transfer position. 4 spots on the field right now. We'll go to the feature event. Schlegel started back there in the number 8 spot. White flag flies. One more time around. Here he comes down across the park. Tony Paez, he can hear the horsepower. Sorensen begins to show some muscle. Last lap racing action. Sorensen cracks the whip down in turn number 2. He'll make a move onto the inside part of the speedway. Alex Friesen back there in the number 3 spot. Jake Schlegel rides in the number 4 position. Checkered flag getting set to fly. The winner of the 3rd Nadine Properties Dirt Sportsman feature event, riding aboard the number 31 car, it's Tony Paez. 2nd spot, Jimmy Sorensen. 3rd, Alex Friesen. And 4th, Jake Schlegel. So the winner once again of that 3rd qualifying heat event, number 31 of Tony Paez. Second spot, Jimmy Sorensen. Third, Alex Friesen. And fourth, Jake Schlegel. Fourth qualifying heat event on the wire. Here's Joe.
Number 11 of Mark Huffcutt. Row number 2 will be Bobby Ryder in the number 517 on the outside. Todd Burley in car number 89B. Row 3 will be Bobby Anderson in car number 63. Leon Schauger in car number 918. In the fourth row inside, Carl Comfort in car number 10C. On the outside will be Alan Hoteling in car number 250. Row 5, Kevin Fleming in the 6F. Ted DeGroat on the outside in the Circle 7. And in the 6th row will be Russ Schwall in car number 69. Jeff Hoff on the outside in car number 24J. Wilson Todd, Oldsmobile pace. So he had kind of a sad and happy opening for 1995 racing season. Right now he's sitting on the pole, and right now he's running second in the 1995 Mr. Dirt Sportsman Championship run. The Olson Todd Oldsmobile swings in turn number 3. Mark Huffcutt, car number 11 on the outside. We're ready to go. Fourth qualifying heat. They line up Nerf bar to Nerf bar. Pace car is in, ready to swing out of turn number 4. Down they come. Green lights coming on as they come out of the number 4 corner. It's Hall in command. Hall up there on the front side. Bobby Reiner in car number 517 hustles up on the inside, takes away the number 2 qualifying position. Huffcutt now goes back to the number 3 spot. They shuffle around going down the back straightaway. Todd Burley, car number 89, now up to the number 2 position. That's the 89B of Todd Burley, who has moved up to the number 2 position. Burley running second. We've got caution out onto the Speedway. Huffcutt in the number 3 position, and I believe it's Bobby Ryder in car number 517 now running 4th. Leon Schauger in car number 918 in the wall up there in between the corners, between Turnford. Started the event in 7th starting position, has now earned himself a qualifying spot by moving up to the number 4 position. Green lights coming on, a race coming back on, and down they come. Burley trying to close in on Hall. Hall, the leader, gets up a little bit wide. Here's Burley looking down onto the inside. Burley works down on the inside part of the Speedway. Here comes Carl Comfort trying to come up on the outside to take away the number 3 spot. It didn't work as the number 11 car of Huffcutt stays into that number 3 position. Meanwhile, Hall, the leader, comes working out of the corner with Burley riding right there in the number 2 spot. Burley running second, Huffcutt is 11, and Comfort in the number 4 position. Back there in the number 5 spot, Kevin Fleming of car number 6F right now in that final, or in the number 5 spot, 1 position out of a qualifying spot. Meanwhile, the lead car, Steve Hall, trying to pull away and make short work of qualifying heat number 4 as he's got almost a quarter straightaway lead. It appears that Carl Comfort may have a right rear tire going down. That's the 4th place running car, Carl Comfort. May have a right rear going down. He bobbled a little bit coming out of turn number 2. We are approaching the halfway point. Comfort trying to nurse the car into that qualifying spot and hold on to it. We'll watch him as he comes down here in the front straightaway. Kevin Fleming running 5th. Can see the problem and tries to close in on Comfort. Comfort now trying to get a little bit of a breathing room going down there. We're beyond the halfway point. Here's Hall trying to hold on to that big lead, and what a big lead he has got. Here's Kevin Fleming now in car number 6F trying to close in to move into that 4th and final qualifying spot. A couple of cars tagging the outside retaining wall coming out of turn number 2. The 2-lap sign will be coming down. Hall in command. Almost now a full straightaway lead with Burley running second. Huffcutt third, and Carl Comfort still in that 4th and final qualifying spot. Next trip around, the white flag will be coming out. Here's Kevin Fleming in car number 6, trying to close in. Fleming having his own problems as he gets up a little bit wide coming out of turn number 2. The white flag now coming out. The lead car is the Hall, car number 61. Now, pretty near a full straightaway. Comfort now works down on the inside of Hupcut in car number 11 to try to challenge for that number 3 position as Fleming has fallen off the pace as they go down the back straightaway. Checkered flag ready to come out. The win is going to go to Stevie Hall out of Watertown, New York, car number 61. Second place as they come racing across is Pat Burley in the number 3 spot. It's Hupcut, and Carl Comfort manages to hold on to that 4th and final qualifying spot, moving up to the number 5 position, but out of a qualifier. Jeff Hoff of Carl.
Field being given the indication, 1 lap, and we'll be back to green flag racing. 5th qualifying heat event. Jimmy Spano, the number 10S car, up there in the number 1 spot. Load Ice on the outside. Petruska Jr. on the inside of row number 2. Ron Constantino with the gray 18 machine, back there in the outside of row number 2. Jim Tuit Sr., the Duffy's Tavern number 67 car, back there on the inside of row number 3. Mark Tomlin's on the outside with the 2017 machine. On that mount. Chad Lodice gets word about that pony tire. For safety's sake, he'll take that car down behind pit wall, the West Star Mechanical number 5L car. They'll try and put a new left front sneaker on that mount just as quickly as possible. Bring that car back out onto the speedway. Field going across the stripe right now. Jim Gabriel, by the way, back there aboard the number 5J car, currently. Caution lights get turned out. The Olsen Todd pace car down behind pit wall. They'll turn the field free down in turns number 3 and 4. Jimmy Spano, a good small block dirt sportsman campaigner on the dirt motorsport circuit. He'll bring that back on a turn number 4 this time. Green flag flies the field up to the gearbox, down across the stripe. Fifth qualifying heat event now underway. Up to the outside part of the speedway. Ron Constantino will see daylight first as he takes that pack for a ride on a turn number 2 this time. Spano tries to put a nose down to the inside, motoring down the back straightaway. Top 2 cars now check out of the rest of the field. It's Spano right there in the daylight, down to the inside. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Deep in the heart of this dirt sportsman field, it's Mark Tomlin's working to the inside. Tomlin's down to the inside to fight for the number 3 spot. Down across the park. Caution lights coming on the speedway. Problems down in turn number 3. 5L car. Chad Lodice. He had that left front pony tire go bad on him. Came back out of the speedway. Problems developed right off the bat. As the caution flag comes out, 1 lap has been scored in the field, 1 down, 7 to go. 25 miles an hour, the speed of the pace car, with Buck Morrow behind the controls as he'll take that Olsen Todd Oldsmobile SL Edition, the 1995 Oldsmobile, off to the inside of turn number 3. We'll be set to go back to green flag racing. 1 lap has been put in the field, 1 down, 7 to go. The 5th qualifying heat event with 7 laps on the board right now. Here we come out of turn number 3. Ron Constantino will set the pace coming out of turn number 4 this time. An outside invader riding aboard the number 18 car. Green flag flies down the home straightaway. Spano to the outside part of the Speedway. Spano comes down to slam the door. Constantino, but he slides back up to the outside, coming out of turn number 2. Quickly down the back straightaway. Constantino drops down to the inside. He'll take him as a drafting partner down the back straightaway. Here comes Mike Petruska Jr. Petruska holds on to the number 3 spot. Jim Gabriel back there riding aboard the 5J car. He'll now see some qualifying action riding in the number 4 spot. Gabriel back there in the hot seat, the 5J machine. Holds on to the number 4 spot of the field right now. Mark Tomlin's back in spot number 5. Jim Tuit Sr. riding back in the number 6 spot. 2 laps have been scored. They'll be coming out of turn number 4 this time, putting lap number 3 up on the board. It's Ron Constantino riding aboard the gray number 18 car to show the way out of turn number 4 this time. Constantino showing some wild horses down across the mark right now, and a good lead as Spano holds on to the number 1 spot. Spano back there aboard the number 10X car. Constantino second, Petruska third. Gabriel back there in spot number 4. Halfway point coming out this time. 4 laps down and 4 to go for Jimmy Spano riding aboard the number 10S car. Spano putting a whole lot of moonlight between himself and Ron Constantino back there in the number 18 machine. Mike Petruska Jr., the Atlas Paving 66 car, holds on to the number 3 spot. Jim Gabriel Jr. back there riding aboard the 5J car, holds on to the number 4 position. Mark Tomlin, the Dryden Lubricants car, 1 spot from qualifying right now as he rides aboard the number 5 position. 5 laps have been scored 3 more times around for the 5th qualifying heat event. Jimmy Spano, a hot show on the outside Invader circuit here this weekend, always doing a good job on Eastern States weekend, and he'll look for the 5th starting spot right now in the Nadine Properties 75-lap feature event. Coming up on 2 to go this time around as the field works their way on the turn number 4 down across the mark. Spano by the Don Smith car. Smith. Frank Doty, that is. Frank Doty riding aboard the number 71 car, getting a lap put on him right now. Constantino on the inside, getting by him. Back there, the number 18 car. Mike Petruska Jr. holds on to 3. Jimmy Gabriel back in spot number 4. Mark Tomlin's in trouble down in turn number 2. Caution lights will come on the field as the field assembles by. Okay, your winner will be Jimmy Spano. 2nd spot, Ron Constantino. 3rd, Mike Petruska, and 4th, the 5 of Jimmy Gabriel. So the winner of the 5th qualifying heat event, the number 10S car of Jim Spano. 2nd,
47 of Billy Dunn, and the 67 of Jim Tuit Sr. Row number 3, spot number 5, then goes to the 81 of Bill Richards and the 50 of Rod Johnston. Row 4, spot number 7, goes to the 69 of Rush Wall and the 32 of Cliff Airman. Row number 5, spot number 9, then goes to the 2K of Dan Nappy and the 44K Lane Krapinski. Row number 6, spot number 11 from right here in Middletown, New York, goes to the 69 Junior of Randy Banks. Alongside of him goes the number 30 of Mark Pullen. Your final row number 7 here in Consi number 1, will be the 327 of Ed Eager and the 918 of Leon Sugar. 14 cars are eligible to go here in this first of 3 Dirt Sportsman consolation events.
Consolations, of course, on the grid right now for both the Dirt Sportsman and the small block modifieds. Right after that, there will be a very, very brief drivers' meeting before the 2 feature events start tonight. Dirt Sportsman still first on the grid with their 75-lap Nadine Properties feature event.
And watch from the pit area as we get set to go. Green flag this time down off of corner number 4.
What?
Tommy Green and Jeff Hoff up on the front row as the Olsen Todd Cutlass Supreme SL pace car ducks it down up in corner number 3. The pacing duties being handed over to Tommy Green down off of corner number 4. Green flag set to fly as they come down off of corner number 4. Rows of 2 side by side. Green flag set to fly. There goes Green and Hoff down into corner number 1. Jeff Hoff on the outside. A bold move. Grabs the number 1 spot. Billy Dunn now tucks his nose down on the low side. Works by Green and grabs that run-up spot. Green right there on the tail side. They touch for just a moment. That opens up the bottom side for Jim Tuit Sr. The ageless veteran creeps up into the number 3 spot right now, the final transfer spot. Down up the corner, number 4, Jeff Hoff, pulling away from the rest of the pack right now as Billy Dunn continues to run Dunn back there in the number 2 position. Spots number 1, 2, and 3 evenly spaced out right now as Jim Tuit Sr. fending them all off right now for that final transfer spot down the back straightaway. Tommy Green now going to try and close that gap back up as they go down. Look out, we've got a couple of them together down the backstretch. One sitting in the wrong direction as the leaders bring it down off of corner number 4. Yellow flag flies. The 2K of Dan Nappy sits in the wrong direction on the backstretch. Nappy making contact 6 more times around for race leader Jeff Hoff, who takes it down the back straightaway. Billy Dunn alongside. 3 cars will transfer. 9 spots to be given out through the Constellation events, 3 out of each as we get set to go. 2 laps have been scored. The Olsen Todd Cutlass Supreme SL pace car sets them free. Hoff and Green now cautiously bring it off of corners number 3 and 4. Hoff gets on the accelerator now. The green flag set to fly down off of corner number 4. Hoff right back to the point down the front straightaway. Billy Dunn tries to make that outside move work, but no go. He'll have to tuck it back in back at spot number 2. Here comes Jim Tuit Sr. down the low side. Tuit now begins to battle with Dunn for the number 2 spot, and that opens up the low side groove for Rush Schwall. Schwall now picks up the number 3 spot. Dunn now out of a qualifying position as they go down through corners number 3 and 4. Hoff is checked down on the field, down off of corner number 4. A half a straightaway advantage over Jim Tuit Sr. Schwall sits back in the final transfer spot right now. Billy Dunn closing in quickly back there in the number 4 position. Bill Richards now running back in spot number 5 as they bring it down the back straightaway. Tuit and Schwall pull away. Dunn has his work cut out for him now as we've got one around over in corner number 2. Caution flag gonna fly once again as he stops over there. Yellow lights on around the speedway. The number 30 of Mark Pullen. And now he slows down the back straightaway. Tough break for Schwab, who was in a qualifying spot. Now back to the tail side. We get set to go. Green flag racing once again. Down the front chute, Jeff Hoff shows the way, followed by Tuit and Dunn. 1, 2, and 3 down in the corner number 1. Dunn looks to rebound back to the low side of Tuit. The same move that Tuit made on the previous restart. No go as Jim Tuit Sr. holds them off. Billy Dunn sits back in the number 3 spot, and Bill Richards 1 spot out of qualifying. Down off of corner number 4, Jeff Hoff way out front right now, stretching it out almost 3/4 of a straightaway ahead of Jim Tuit Sr. and Billy Dunn. Bill Richards running back there in the Canizal Race Cars number 81. 1 spot out of qualifying back in spot number 4. Jeff Hoff wasting no time, way out front, cruising around right now here on a Saturday evening. Jimmy Tuit Sr. back there in the number 2 position, fending off Billy Dunn. That's your top 3 at the moment. That's the final cutoff for you. 2-lap sign is up to the field right now, and Jeff Hoff a full straightaway ahead of second place man Jim Tuit Sr. Billy Dunn looks down to the low side of Tuit once again, but no go. Tuit running a fine line off the outside groove. Fending off Dunn. This time they both slide up high, losing more ground, but still securing themselves a qualifying position. Bill Richards, 1 spot to go. Time's running out on him now. Down off the corner number 4, the white flag flies. 1 more time around for race leader Jeff Hoff. Spots number 2 and 3 now secure for Tuit and Dunn now as your leader makes it down the back straightaway for the final time. Checkered flag gets set to fly this time down off the corner number 4. 3 cars will go, and Jeff Hoff making easy work of his first Dirt Sportsman Constellation. He'll come home the winner here in the number 24J. Jeff Hoff, an easy victory. Second spot down at the wire will be the 67 of Jim Tuit Sr. and Billy Dunn rounds out your top 3 qualifying positions. In spot number 7, and alongside of him, the only female driver here in the Dirt Sportsman Division in 95, the Sports Stock number 90, Carol Birchwell. Row number 5, then in spot number 9, goes to the 77 of Scott Mill, and alongside of him, the F&D Cleaning Services, 517 of Bob Ryder. Row number 6, spot number 11, with the 14T, then goes to Glenn Daly, and following Glenn would be the 27T of Mark Tomlins. Green flag sets to fly this time down the front straightaway, and from the outside, the field goes by into corner number 1, and from the outside, Rick Miller grabs the number 1 spot away. Here comes Greg Slade and Stan Jablonka, 2 top 5-point men here in the Orange County Speedway in the 95 season. Now running back in spots number 2 and 3. Rick Miller shows the way. Now here comes Jablonka down to the low side of Slate. Side by side, they'll go for the number 2 position. Jablonka on the low side. Slate up on the outside group. They go by the start-finish line. Very, very close. Jablonka now picking up the runner spot on the bottom side. Greg Slade up on the top side groove now. Going to try and close that gap back in as race leader Rick Miller holds on to about a 4-car length advantage. Stan Jablonka getting stronger now as he closes in down into corner number 3. Sits just a couple of car lengths behind. Now closes right in up on the tail side. Down up a corner number 4 down a home chute. And it's Rick Miller bending off the 1995 track champion Stan Jablonka. Looks to the outside. Switches goes down to the low side. Down off a corner number 2. The number 1 battle up for grabs now once again as Miller grabs the advantage. Caution light comes out. The 5L of Chad Lodice having problems up in corner number 4. Earlier on this evening had problems up in that corner as well, so. Well, as the Olsen Todd pace car sets them free. Rick Miller going to have his hands full now as Stan Jablonka up on the outside of row number 1. Multi-time feature winner here in the 95 season. Going to give him the challenge of his lifetime now. Down off of corner number 4. Green flag flies. Stan Jablonka outpowers him down off the high side. Grabs the number 1 spot. Miller back in spot number 2 as Carol Bushwell now sticks the nose down underneath Slate to battle for that final transfer spot number 3. Slate able to outpower down the back straightaway and continue to run back in the number 3 go round. Bushwell continues to run down on the low side, trying to make up the ground there as Martin Gagne in the 6G closes in as well down in corner number 1. Stan Jablonka holds on to about a 10-car length advantage as he stretches it out now down the back straightaway. Miller in the runner-up spot now begins to comfortably hold on to the number 2 spot, and Greg Slate pulls away from Bushwell. Now he's pulled away and now holds on to that final transfer spot number 3. Slate now closing in down here in corner number 4. Caution light comes out once again. Going to get herself a qualifying position. Caution lights get turned out once again. 5 laps have been scored. 3 more times around here in consolation event number 2. The Olsen Todd pace car sets them free as the field now begins nose to tail. Down up a corner number 4. The green flag flies. And Jablonka up to the number 1 spot once again. Up to the challenge as Greg Slade looks to the outside. Here comes Carroll down the low side. Bushwell gets the nose underneath. Now slides up. Takes the groove away. Looks to the outside. Groove high, low, back to the outside. Now backs out of it and holding on to spot number 3. Here comes Greg Slate, though, looking to rebound. He keeps the right foot in it. Off of corner number 4. 2 laps sign to go, and Greg Slate giving it his all right now to close it on Bushwell. Bushwell sits in the number 3 position. Slate looks down to the low side. They touch for just a moment. That gives Bushwell about a 2-car length advantage down the back straightaway. Slate trying to close the gap now as they take it into corner number 3. The white flag going to fly this time down off of corner number 4. And Stan Jablonka's way out front cruising away. The battle will be for the number 3 spot as Rick Miller sits back in spot number 2. Carol Bushwell, 1 more lap to go to hold off the number 4 man of Greg Slate. Slate looks up to the outside through corners number 1 and 2. That may cost him. Gets a good run down off the 2nd corner, down the back chute. Looks to close in down towards corner number 3, but time's running out. Your leader bringing it down off of corner number 4. Your winner of the Sportsman consolation number 2 will be the 44, Stan Jablonka. 2nd goes to the number 7, Exit Miller. 3rd going to be a close one at the wire on the inside. Carol Bushwell hangs on to pick up the number 3 qualifying position. So Stan Jablonka picks up the victory. 2nd spot goes to Rick Miller. And Carol Bushwell, coming all the way from 8th position, finishes in spot number 3 to get herself a qualifying position. So, the qualifying position to the 75-lap Nadine Properties Dirt Sportsman feature event, getting set to come down off of corner number 4. The Olsen Todd pace car sets them free. Jerry Wynn and Brian Jones up on the front row. Down off of corner number 4 right now, side by side in rows of few. They bring it down to green flag flash. Brian Jones on the outside, grabs the number 1 spot. Libby follows suit and picks up the runner-up position as everybody scrambles looking for positions off of corner number 2. Jones slows everybody. Chain reacts right behind him as Libby now begins to mount the pressure for the number 1 spot. Wynn caught up on the outside. Fleming down to the low side by side for spot number 3. Brian Jones shows the way off of corner number 4 to complete lap number 1. John Libby, a feature winner in the 95 season, working back in spot number 2 right now. Fleming in spot 3, and here comes steady Eddie Redner back there in spot number 4. Redner, 1 spot out of qualifying, also a feature winner here in the 95 season, trying to get himself a qualifying spot. Down the back straightaway, Brian Jones continues to show the way. John Libby back in spot number 2. Fleming now getting quicker back there in the number 3 spot. Closes right in on Libby off of corner number 4. No go this time as Libby continues to hold on to the runner spot. Fleming drops down to the bottom side as he takes it into corner number 1. Libby able to fend them off. Problems over corner number 2 as well. Remember, 3 cars will qualify as the Olsen Todd pace car sets them free. Brian Jones up on the front end. Green flag flies this time down the front straightaway. Jones and Fleming go at it for that number 1 spot. Jones on the inside. Fleming was on the outside. Tried to switch screws down to the low side, but no go. Brian Jones hangs on to it. Now here comes Fleming, going to look up to the outside down the back straightaway. Fleming putting the moves on now, closing right in as Jones continues to hang on to that number 1 groove. Down through corners number 3 and 4. Fleming now puts the pressure on, drops from the high side, down to the low side, mounts a challenge for the number 1 spot, but Brian Jones up to it right now. Wynn sits back down spot number 3. Here comes Eddie Redner with the SOS Fuels number 27X, right down into corner number 1, got up high, just barely makes contact. Now gathers it all back together, shoots down off of corner number 2 in the number 5 position. Coming up on the halfway point this time by 4 laps will be completed. 4 down and 4 to go for race leader Brian Jones down the front straightaway. Jones by about 2 car lengths over Kevin Fleming. Fleming sits back there in the number 2 spot with a Nordic welding number 6F in the number 2 position. Winnie now picks up that number 3 go around. Jerry Wynn in the 538 machine. Now going to feel the pressure from Alan Hotelling in the number 250. Hotelling sits back in the number 4 spot, 1 spot out of qualifying as your leaders bring it down off the corners number 3 and 4. Fleming now drops down to the bottom side of Jones once again to mount the challenge. This time has a good run at him. Going into corner number 1. Jones slams the door shut, holds on to the number 1 spot, takes it right down to the bottom, slides up just a little bit. Fleming looks for a little bit of racing room off of corner number 2. They touch for just a moment. Jones now gets away by about 3 car lengths as Fleming sits back in spot number 2 with Jerry Wynn rounding out the top 3 running order. Jones now slides high once again. Fleming looks to go racing down the bottom side. 2 lap sign is up. Jones, as they go by the start-finish line, hangs on to about 3 car lengths. Brian Jones, the number 22 machine, hangs on to the number 1 spot. Fleming looks to close the gap now. Has a good head of steam off the corner number 2. Drops it down to the bottom side. Looks to go racing into corner number 3 on the low side. Jones slams the door shut once again. Fleming looks to rebound. Now Jones going in a little too hard. Slides high and the bottom side opens up. And then comes Fleming down to the bottom side to pick up the number 1 spot. Jones looks to make the move back to the number 1 spot. Goes in hard. Drives it. Fleming, they swap in the number 1 spot. Fleming on the low side. Jones on the outside, side by side. The number 1 spot up for grabs. Fleming on the inside. Jones now keeps it up on the outside groove. Top 2 now, nose to tail. Fleming a little bit of an advantage. Jones swings it down to the low side. Checkered flag set to fly off of corner number 4. Fleming edges out in front, brings it home. Checkered flag goes out to the 6F of Kevin Fleming. Brian Jones, spot number 2, and Alan Hotelling picks up spot number 3. The final through 2 right now, and he's a regular up there at the Can-Am Speedway. He also, by the way, if you were had the chance to stop off at Rolling Wheels Raceway Park during the Super Dirt Week activities, Stevie was the winner during the Dirt Sportsman portion of the Rolling Wheels offerings on Saturday night of Super Dirt Week. Hall, very talented driver, able to win on foreign soil, we sort of say to him, and a very talented Dirt Sportsman campaigner across the 1995 racing season.
drivers down through the short chute area. They'll get the pit area ready for the small block modifieds. 150 lap, CarQuest Auto Parts, Eastern States Small Block Classic, due on the line next. Caution laps will count until the last 3 laps of the 75 lap Classic. All caution laps will count until the last 3 laps. Last 3 laps must be run under the powers of the green flag. Somerville, by virtue of winning the first qualifying heat event, finds himself up there in the number 1 spot. A $4,000 paycheck being offered to one of these 30 drivers out here this afternoon. And of course, a lot of these drivers are outside invaders here this weekend. The second row being made up of outside invaders: Tony Paez, Steve Hall, Jimmy Spano, Chuck Bauer, Todd Burley, some of the finest names in dirt sportsman racing across the tri-state area. Ronnie Constantino, Alex Friesen, Comfort, Jim Gabriel, Kevin Fleming, and Jeff Hoff, just to name a few of the outside invaders that are not regular Saturday night campaigners. So I'd say a better part of 50% of this dirt sportsman lineup right now is comprised of outside invaders here this evening. Green flag go round for the 75 lap Nadine Properties Dirt Sportsman feature event. A $4,000 beat, 5 laps of dirt sportsman excitement out here tonight. The first big feature event of Eastern States Weekend 1995, the 34th annual Eastern States Racing Festival. Being offered this year, of course, by CarQuest Auto Parts. Nadine Properties coming on board, signing as the signature sponsor for the dirt sportsman portion of Eastern States Racing Weekend. Caution lights have now been turned out. 30 of the nation's finest dirt sportsman campaigners down the back straightaway. The Olson Todd Cutlass Supreme pace car waves the field by down in turns number 3 and 4. Drivers get ready down in turns number 3 and 4. The accelerators get itchy. They rumble out of turn number 4 this time. Kenny Marshall with a green flag in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, here we come down the home straightaway. The 75 lap Nadine Properties feature event is now underway. Callan Somerville from the inside part of the Speedway. He'll take the field out of turn number 2 this time. Jeff Holsapple, he won't back down. He'll use him as a drafting partner down the back straightaway. Holsapple aboard the S&J Towing 14D car. Down to the inside part of the Speedway, nose and tail. Holsapple backs out of it down in turns number 3 and 4. Callan Somerville out of Washington Township, New Jersey. The Fordyce Construction number 33C car brings that field around a complete lap number 1. Holsapple now second of the field. Holsapple onto the inside part of the Speedway. He'll draft him once again, coming out of turn number 2 this time. Both cars drift to the outside. Rim shot down the back straightaway. Up to the outside part of the Speedway. They'll build up the RPMs this time. Tony Paez running aboard the 31 car. He'll give some action right now onto the inside part of turn number 3. Holsapple makes a move to the outside. Down to the inside wide goes Somerville. It's Stevie Hall running aboard the number 61 car. He'll see some action right now as he drops onto the inside part of the Speedway. Here comes Jimmy Spano. Fights for the number 4 spot. Spano showing some muscle down the back straightaway against Tony Paez as he fights for the number 4 spot of the field. Don't count out Chuck Bauer riding back there in the number 6 spot. All cars single file coming out of turn number 4 this time. The only car stepping out of line. Here comes Holsapple Somerville bobbling down the home straightaway, and he makes contact with Paez. There will be problems down in turn number 1 as the top row goes sideways, and a whole lot of drivers left with no place to go. It all started when Colin Somerville kind of lost a handle on things coming out of turn number 4. We saw him drop back about 2 positions in the field. Going into turn number 3, he had just tapped one of the other drivers. It was Tony Paez riding aboard the number 31 car. And a whole lot of cars left with no place to go. Somerville sitting down there in the turn 1 area. Mark Huffcutt also involved in that down there, along with the 66 Mike Petruska Jr. Caution laps do count until the last 3 laps of this event. That money for every lap of this 75-lap feature event shootout, but lap number 37 will be a $100 lap, courtesy of F&D Cleaning Service out of Middletown, New York, and they're one of one of the major sponsors on the Bob Ryder racing efforts for the 1995 racing season. Crossover sign being given as the field rumbles down the home straightaway right now behind the powers of the Olson Todd Cutlass Supreme pace car. Leading the field right now, Tony Paez riding back there in the number 2 spot. Steve Hall is third, Jimmy Spano 4th right now. Todd Burley up there in the number 5 spot. 6th would be Chuck Bauer. 7th is Eric Arell. 8th, Ronnie Constantino. 9th, Alex Friesen. 10th spot would be Timmy Hindley. Top 10 recap after 6 laps of competition. Caution lights remain on the field right now as the field assembles down behind the powers of the Olson Todd pace car. Back there as he reeled him in just a little bit farther down the back straightaway right now. Hall looking for a drafting partner. He'd love to make it Jeff Hallsapple coming down the home straightaway. Hallsapple looks on to the inside, center lines it down there in turns number 3 and 4 right now. Hallsapple with a Chrysler power plant underneath the sheet metal. Down in turns number 3 and 4, chops onto the inside, part of the Speedway. Tony Paez slows up just for a little bit. Here comes Spino onto the inside. Chuck Bauer right there like a shadow in spot number 5 right now. Bauer, the number 99 car, down across the stripe this time. Seeing some action back there in the number 5 spot. 6th place is Todd Burley. Here comes Timmy Hindley onto the inside. Spino losing the spot out to Chuck Bauer. Bauer slides to the rim shot going down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Hindley slingshots onto the inside. Bonsai move down the back straightaway. Hindley files into the inside part of the Speedway. He'll fight for the number 5 spot this time. Timmy Hindley putting the moves on Todd Burley, rolling out of turn number 4 this time. Down across the bar. Here comes Chuck Bauer. Bauer makes a smooth down to the inside. Bauer, the racing room gets used up as he met that inside barrier. That'll cost him a spot in the field. Here comes Burley down the back straightaway. Burley reeling at Chuck Bauer right now. That 3rd place battle is on. Bauer rebounding back down to the inside. It's Steve Hall back there in the number 2 spot. Hallsapple shows the way all by his lonesome down there in turn number 2 right now. Steve Hall coming out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Problems down in turn number 3. Here this evening, the 75-lap Nadine Properties Dirt Sportsman Eastern States Weekend Feature Event Classic. Field lined up 2 by 2 by 2 behind the powers of the Olson Todd Cutlass Supreme pace car right now. 35 miles an hour at the speed of the pace car. Boyle behind the controls as he gets the word to bring that car down behind pit wall in turn number 3. The caution lights have been turned out. We're set for some green flag action once again. Race leader Jeff Hallsapple riding aboard the number 14D car, opting once again for the inside part of the Speedway as he takes that field down there between turns number 3 and 4. Here we come, down to turns number 3 and 4. Hallsapple will set the pace coming off that turn this time. Hallsapple will show the way coming out of turn number 4 this time. Green flag flies. We're back underway. Quickly down the home straightaway. Hallsapple will take that field down in turns number 1 and 2. It's Steve Hall to the inside. Chuck Bauer makes a move up to the number 3 spot of the field right now. Bauer riding up to the rim shot. Down the back straightaway. Bauer showing muscle problems. Down in turn number 2. Alex Friesen aboard the 68 car. And one other car involved going into turn number 2. Kevin Fleming riding aboard car number 6. Both cars able to continue under his own power. Aboard the S&J Vehicle Recovery, garnered his first career feature win here at the Orange County Speedway on September the 2nd of this year. Had 2 or 3 wins elsewhere in the dirt circuit throughout the 1995 racing season. Caution lights have now been turned out. Hallsapple once again sets the pace as the Olson Todd pace car drops the field off down in turn number 3. once again as the field rumbles on a turn number 4 this time. Green flag 5, we go back to racing action. Chuck Bauer riding aboard the Paulette Vitale Concrete, number 99 car. He'll make a move up to the outside part of the speedway. Spano losing some, backpedaling to some space right now behind Hindley's car. And Spano losing 2 spots on the field down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Tim Hindley riding aboard the number 17 car. He started back in 17th position, now rides 5th place in the field after only 21 laps of competition. Hindley makes a move down to the inside part of the speedway. Side by side, they'll drag race him hard into turns number 1 and 2 right now. Hindley will see the moonlight first coming out of turn number 2, and he'll pick up the 4th place on the field. Timmy Hindley from right here in Fair Oaks, New York, taking a ride down the back straightaway right now, up there in the number 4 position. Chuck Bauer rides up there in the number 3 spot. It's Steve Hall up there in the bridesmaid spot, riding aboard car number 61 this time. They all pile up to the tail side behind the 14D car of Jeff Hallsample. Tony Paez back there, 3 wide down in turns number 1 and 2 this time. Spano back in the 6th spot. It's Stan Jablonka riding aboard the Chappaqua, number 44 car, working up to the number 7 spot of the field right now. Jablonka started back in the 22nd starting position, all the way up to the number 7th position of the field as they speak. Down across the bar, Jablonka drawing in Jimmy Spano tightly. He'll take him as a drafting partner, drops it down to the inside. 3 cars fight for the number 5 spot of the field right now. It's Paez, Spano, and Jablonka, all goes and tail down the back straightaway. 25 laps will go up on the board this time. 1/3 the way home to a checkered flag for race leader Jeff Hallsample. Jablonka swings down to the inside. He'll fight with Spano, picks up the number 6 spot. Gabriel in trouble. Jimmy Gabriel Jr. aboard the 5J car. A lot of smoke coming out of the tail side of the 5J. He'll take that car down behind the pit wall. 25 laps have been posted to the board. 1/3 the way home to a checkered flag as Jeff Hallsample breathes a little bit easier right now. Puts a whole lot of moonlight between himself and 2nd place. Running Steve Hall. Hall back there, drops it down to the inside, trying to close the gap. Chuck Bauer beginning to show some muscle back there aboard the number 99 car. Slowly but surely reeling in 2nd place. Running Steve Hall. Top 3 cars hold the rest of the field at bay right now. Timmy Hindley riding back there in the number 4 spot. Stan Jablonka rides back in spot number 5. 3 wide, and wow, Hallsample in trouble. Gave the lead virtually to Steve Hall, your new race leader. Hallsample bobbled coming out of turn number 4 and almost cost him the entire race, but he managed to regain back to the number 2 position. Your new race leader on the 27th lap will be the number 61 car of Stevie Hall. Caution laps come out of the field. Todd Burley running aboard the number 89B car. In trouble down in turn number 2. He'll fire it back up and rejoin the tail side of the bus. But a very tough break for the 14D car of Jeff Hallsample, who almost, the car virtually got out from underneath him coming out of turn number 4. In a split second, lost the lead, but managed to hold on to the number 2 position.
Tim, looking at the point standings for the McCreary Tire Champion Spark Plugs, Mr. Dirt. Sportsman Championship with Steve Hall now leading and Chuck Bauer riding in the number 3 spot. Bauer would still win the 1995 championship as the green comes out.
Back to green flag racing action. Steve Hall, once again an outside invader here this evening at the Orange County Speedway. He'll take that pack down the back straightaway. Here comes Chuck Bauer besting Timmy Hindley down the back straightaway. We've got a problem down in turn number 2. It's Jimmy Sorensen riding aboard the Jim Bush Trucking number 77 car as he heads the wrong way out of one-way street down in turn number 2 right now. 30 laps have been posted. 30 down, just 45 more times around the 5/8 mile. Caution lights have now been turned out. The Olson Todd pace car once again waves the field by down in turns number 3 and 4. We're set to go back to green flag racing action as the field works its way out of turn number 4 this time. Here we go. Green flag 5. We're back underway. Jeff Halsapple, slingshot down the home straightaway. Drag racing him hard into turn number 1 right now, and Halsapple will see Moonlight first. He'll pick back up the number 1 spot. Heinley and Bauer in trouble coming out of turn number 2. Timmy Heinley locked horns with Chuck Bauer going into turn number 2. Heinley lost 2 positions. Chuck Bauer lost about 6 spots on the field. Watch Bauer try to make the move back up to the outside part of the Speedway. Meanwhile, Jeff Halsapple from here in Middletown, New York, wasting no time on that restart to drag race Stevie Hall down to turn number 1. And Halsapple do the quick way around the 5/8 miles. He picked back up the number 1 position. Second spot of the field right now is, once again, the number 61 car of Stevie Hall. Third spot, and an outstanding drive from that 22nd starting spot. The point champion here this year at the Orange County Fair Speedway, the 44 car of Stan Jablonka. Eric Arell riding back there at the number 4 spot. Timmy Heinley then back in spot number 5. Jimmy Spano rides in spot number 6. Tony Paez is 7th. Ronnie Constantino back there in the number 8 spot as they rumble down the back straightaway. A little bit of elbow space being garnered up between the top 5 campaigners right now. Jimmy Spano racing number 10S car, works to the outside part of the Speedway. Timmy Heinley, meanwhile, chopped off the number 1 and 2 turns as he tried to pick up some space on Eric Arell down the back straightaway. Halsapple holds on to the number 1 spot. Stevie Hall trying to regain back there in the number 2 position. Lights coming on the field. It's Jake Schlegel aboard the number 53D car, coming to a rest outside of turn number 2 right now. Caution will come on at the 36th lap of competition. Lap coming up. Remember, right now it is a $100 lap, and Jeff Halsapple just picked up another $100 worth of earnings here tonight at the Orange County Fair Speedway, in addition to at least $10 in lap prize money for every one of these 75 laps. I'd like to thank once again the folks from F&D Cleaning Services right here in the Orange County region. Of course, they are proud sponsors of Bob Ryder's number 517 racing efforts. F&D Cleaning Services offering $100 for the halfway point in the Nadine Properties Eastern States 3rd Sportsman events. Greg Slade aboard the Olson Todd number 19 car. He took that car down behind pit wall. Lights have now been turned out. We're set to go back to green flag racing. The field piling out of turn number 4 this time. Kenny Marshall with green flag in hand. Here we come. Back out of turn number 4. Green flag comes out, and the green sees the green first. It'll be Jeff Halsapple down across the wire. Halsapple takes that field down throughout turns number 1 and 2 this time. Holds on to the number 1 spot. Third place may be seeing some action very soon as Stan Jablonka holds on to the number 3 spot. Jablonka back there in the number 3 spot. Eric Arell riding back there aboard the number 72 car. Works a good line of traffic right now. Back at spot number 4. Tim Heinley back there in spot number 5. Jimmy Spano then rides in 6th. Ronnie Constantino is 7th. The 24J car also making some very good moves on the field right now as he is back there in the number 8 spot, quickly drawing in the number 18 car, Ronnie Constantino, down the back straightaway. Constantino holds on to the number 7 spot of the field right now after 41 laps of competition. Halsapple holds on to the lead. Caution lights are on. Chuck Bauer is in trouble down between turns number 3 and 4. Chuck Bauer, the Paul F. Vitale Concrete. Robinson Concrete, number 99 car. Vying for the Mr. Dirt Sportsman Championship title. So he's got some sheet metal flapping in the breeze aboard that number 99 car. Up there in the number 2 spot, it could change the point standings for the Mr. Dirt Sportsman title. And of course, we'll have to see what happens after another 32 laps of competition. But Steve Hall standing a very good chance at becoming Mr. Dirt 1995. Green lights back on around the Speedway. Hall back onto the inside, tries to put a nose under Hallsapple this time. Hallsapple once again shows the way down the back straightaway. He'll turn the wick up quite a bit this time to try and stretch out that number 1 lead over second place running Stevie Hall. Third spot of the field right now, it's Stan Jablonka down to the inside part of the Speedway. Hall holds on to the number 2 spot. Jablonka rides back there in the number 3 position. Fourth spot, it's still Eric Carell aboard the number 72 car. Fifth, it's Timmy Hindley. Hindley trying to make some moves. Here comes Jimmy Spano. He steps out of traffic. He'll lose the spot to Ronnie Constantino coming out of turn number 2 this time. Constantino makes a move down to the inside. Fights with Spano for the number 6 spot. Side by side, they'll drag race each other hard into turns number 3 and 4. Constantino with the inside edge of Spano coming out of turn number 4 this time. We'll see the spot first coming down across the mark. Constantino picks up spot number 6. Jeff Hallsapple from here in Middletown, New York, looking for possibly his second win of the 1995 season here on the 5/8 mile, and what would very well be the most lucrative and biggest paycheck ever in his Dirt Sportsman open wheel career. Steve Hall still second. Jablonka, don't count him out of it. He's back there aboard the Chappaqua number 44 car. Jablonka looks to move up down the back straightaway this time. Try to close the gap. Huffcut in trouble aboard the Pine Bush number 11 car. Mark Huffcut. The left rear of that car becomes severed. He's trying to limp back behind pit wall. Tough break for Mark Huffcut aboard the Pine Bush 11 car, as he will now be out of this feature event after 48 laps of competition. Hallsapple down the back straightaway meanwhile, holding the rest of the field at bay. Caution lights coming on, problems down in turn number 4. That is the 6 car of Kevin Fleming. 6F of Kevin Fleming. Sideways, backing it against the inside retaining wall after 49 laps of competition. It's Ronnie Constantino. 7th, the 10 car, Jimmy Spano. 8th is the 24 of Jeff Hoff. 9th is the 68 car of Alex Friesen. And 10th would be the 31 of Tony Paez. 11th, the 71 of Frank Doty. 2/3 the way home to a checkered flag in this Nadine Properties 75 lap Dirt Sportsman feature event. Position, Friesen would then be 11th. 12th would be the 4 of Tommy Hall.
Timmy, just the way they're running right now, Chuck Bauer would still retain the point championship by 1 point. But we've got 25 laps remaining. We'll wait to see what happens.
Quick title chase update for the Mr. Dirt Sportsman title right now. Can Chuck Bauer clinch it with a handful of points or not? Green flag back out. We go back underway. Hallsapple on the inside. Stevie Hall down to the inside part of the Speedway. Meanwhile, Stan Jablonka, he'll dance to the rim shot down the back straightaway. Jablonka tries to reel in second place running Stevie Hall. Hall, here's the horsepower. He'll turn at the wick down there in turns number 3 and 4. Here comes Stan Jablonka on the outside part of the Speedway. Jablonka tries to reel him in. He puts it back in line coming down the home chute. Jablonka chops off the inside at turn number 1. Hindley takes over the number 4 spot. Arell now back with spot number 5. Top 2 cars begin to put some distance between themselves and that third-place runner of Stan Jablonka. Jablonka very powerful through the turns here in the 5/8 mile this evening. Hall takes a look to the outside. That'll cost him a couple of feet of racing space to Stan Jablonka. Down across the stripe this time. It's still Jeff Hallsapple running aboard the 14D automobile, holding on to the number 1 spot. Steve Hall is second. Spano goes wide of the field. Constantino tries to answer the inside call in that 6th-place battle down the back straightaway. Hallsapple continues to be your race leader. Stevie Hall is second. Stan Jablonka back there in the number 3 spot. Timmy Hindley rides in 4th right now. 5th it's Eric Guerrero. 6th it's Jimmy Spano. 7th Ronnie Constantino. 8th it is Hoff. 9th followed by Paez. And 10th it's Alex Friesen. 55 laps will be posted this time. Just 20 more circuits around the 5/8 mile hard clay for the 14D car of Jeff Hallsapple. Top 3 cars, any one of those drivers can find themselves in victory lane before the night is over. Hallsapple with his first win here on September the 2nd of 1995. 55 laps, 56 go up this time. Alan Hotelling being asked to step down behind pit wall for some flapping tin work on the right rear side of that third Sportsman. 5th place, the battle now taking shape as Jimmy Spano gets by Eric Guerrero. Around back there aboard the number 72 car. Will tuck it back in line behind Spano. Surrender that 5th place battle over to Jimmy Spano. Hallsapple down across the stripe. Stevie Hall continues to ride the number 2 spot. 3rd is the number 44 car of Stan Jablonka. Timmy Hindley begins to reel him in back there aboard the number 17 car. Hindley rides back in the number 4 spot. It's Jimmy Spano back in spot number 5 right now. Hallsapple, he'll show the way. Hallsapple drops the plow coming out of turn number 4 this time. Chops off to the inside of turn 4 down across the mark. Now Stan Jablonka begins to show some signs of bustle. Jablonka reels him in back there aboard the number 44 car. Don't count out Timmy Hindley. Here comes Hindley in the inside part of the Speedway. Down the back straightaway right now. 3 cars will fight for the number 2 spot. It's Steve Hall, Stan Jablonka, and Tim Hindley all nose and tail as they fight for the runner-up spot of the field right now. Hallsapple holds on to the 1-2 punch. Hall back there in the number 2 spot. Jablonka steps to the outside part of the Speedway. Jablonka going wide of the field coming into turn number 2 this time. He'll ride that rim shot down the back straightaway. Hall up to the outside part of the Speedway, drops it back down to the inside. Jablonka knows the fast way around. Timmy Hindley showing some wild horses back there in the number 4 spot right now. Hindley will begin to put his nose into the thick of things right now. It's a 3-way battle for the number 2 spot. Here comes Hindley in the inside. Down in turns number 1 and 2. Hindley puts the nose down to the inside. Backs it back down, tucks it back in line behind the 44 car, Stan Jablonka. Jablonka down the back straightaway right now up to the inside. Jablonka stands on it. Nose and tail battle for the number 2 spot. Hall holds on to the domain back there in the runner-up position. Hallsapple down across the mark with a whole lot of daylight between himself and Stevie Hall. Hall back there in the number 2 spot. Hallsapple onto the inside. Here comes Hindley on the inside once again. Caution lights going on the field. We do believe with the 34 car, if we're not mistaken. Single file restart after 62 laps of competition. More times around the Orange County Fair Speedway. Jeff Hallsapple continues to lead. 2nd spot is Stevie Hall. 3rd now is Timmy Hindley. 4th is the 44 Stan Jablonka. 5th the 10S of Jimmy Spano. Caution lights get turned out. We're set to go back to green flag racing action. Here comes Jeff Hallsapple. He'll bring that pack out of turn number 4 this time. Green flag flies. Hammers go back down. We're back up to racing speeds. Steve Hall down to the inside, part of the Speedway. They'll fight for the number 1 spot. Here comes Jablonka back down to the inside to fight with Hindley. Down the back straightaway is Jablonka back there in the number 4 spot, dropping it back in line behind Timmy Hindley right now. Top 3 cars, a little bit of moonlight separated right now. Coming out of turn number 4 this time. Down across the mark, it's still Hallsapple, Hall, Hindley, and Jablonka, top 4 campaigners. Spano back in spot number 5. Arell on the inside. Back in spot number 6. Constantino is 7th. Alex Friesen is 8th. Hoff is 9th. And Paez back in spot number 10. We're coming up on just 10 laps to go. 10 to go this time around. Jeff Hallsapple, in what could very well be the biggest win of his 3rd Sportsman career here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Put that on. Yeah. Time now begins to wind down. Less than 10 laps remain in the Nadine Properties 3rd Sportsman feature event. Remember, the last 3 laps must be run under the powers of the green flag. It is the number 4 car of Tommy Hall in trouble down between turns number 3 and 4. Being displayed. We're set to go back to some green flag racing action. 68 laps have been put on the board. 69 this time around. Green flag flies. Here we come down across the stripe. Ball back there in the number 2 spot. He'll make a last-ditch effort for it, but don't count out Timmy Hindley on the inside part of the speedway. Here comes Jablonka. He'll put a nose to the outside. The door gets closed tight by Hindley down the back straightaway. Jeff Hallsapple. Hallsapple holds on to it. Caution lights coming. Caution lights back out onto the field. Tommy Hall back in trouble down in turn number 2. Turn number 1, as Hallsapple lost horsepower going into turn number 1 and came to a stop.
What? Correct that to me.
Caution lights getting turned right back out. The Olson Todd pace car gets set to move back down to the inside, part of the speedway. Just 5 laps remain for a $4,000 paycheck out here tonight, courtesy of Nadine Properties out of New York City. Here we come out of turn number 4 this time, and it's going to be green flag racing right down to the checkered. Here comes Hallsapple. He'll bring that back. A 3rd Sportsman out of turn number 4 this time. Quickly down across the mark. Ball right there in the number 2 spot. Hindley and Jablonka going to mix it up for the number 3 place. Battle of the field. Jablonka takes a look to the outside part of the speedway. Here comes Jablonka. Rim riding out of turn number 2 this time. They'll drag racing down the back straightaway for the 3rd spot of the field right now. It's Jablonka to the outside. Banzai slingshot to the outside. Picks up the number 3 spot. Hindley now back to spot number 4. He'll tuck it back in line behind Jablonka this time. Use him as a drafting partner coming down the home straightaway. Jablonka making a last-ditch effort. 3 more laps remain. Watch Jablonka back there. Avoid the number 44 machine. Down the back straightaway. We'll see 2 to go this time. Jeff Hallsapple, he parked himself in victory lane just 1 month ago on September the 2nd here at the Orange County Speedway. It'll be the biggest paycheck of his racing career. Steve Hall, he'll make a last-ditch effort. He'll try to put a nose down to the inside on Hallsapple this time. Jablonka goes way wide. It'll cost him about 9 car lengths on the field. Down the back straightaway, checkered flags will be prepared. The white flag will be seen next. Watch Steve Hall. Hall begins to accelerate onto the inside part of the speedway. Hall takes a look to the outside. He'll drop it back down to the inside wire. Last lap racing action right now. Hall Sample to the outside. It's Hall down to the inside. 3 cars fight for the number 1 spot. 1/2 lap remains. All 3 cars shooting down the back straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, for $4,000, it will come down to the wire. Hall makes a move to the outside. The checkered flag comes out. The win will go to Jeff Hall Sample. Stevie Hall second, Stan Jablonka third, Timmy Hiley is fourth, and Jimmy Spano in spot number 5.
And it appears that Chuck Bauer in the number 99 will be the 1995 McCreary Tire champion, Spark Plug Mr. Dirt Sportsman champion. Hull Sample in the number 14 with the Mopar Chrysler powered engine, showing the not short way around, but the quick way around for everyone here tonight. Here is your winner, the 1995 Nadine Properties 75 lap winner.
Why don't you?
Finishing second, the number 61.
But he never gave you change, so he's got some.
Steve Hall, as he'll be pulling up there. But the 1995 champion for Mr. Dirt will be Chuck Bauer. Scores, we need the scores for the 358 CarQuest Championship event. We need the scores.
Steering wheel off, the Dirt Sportsman stock car down here. Ladies and gentlemen, he can hear you now as he climbs out of the car. The biggest paycheck of his racing career. The winner from right here in Middletown, New York, Jeff Hall Sample. Jeff, in a very hard-fought battle, had the best of the field behind him for the entire 75-lap distance, and Stevie Hall never left him out of his sight. Jeff, what a drive on a late Saturday night.
Thank you very much. I tell you, I know we had some hard competition out here. I saw Steve pull up alongside me on a restart, and then getting me. On restarts, my car had a bad push until I got going where I could run it flat and get in the way I wanted. I'm out of breath. This is the longest I had to race.
Well, I'll tell you what, 75 laps is a long time around the Orange County Speedway. Steve Hall never left you out of his sight. A late race caution. What went through your mind? Did you think you still had what it took to hold on to a checkered?
Yeah, I knew if I stayed close to him, eventually I could get him because I was getting through the corners real good and coming off good. So it was just a matter of waiting for him to push up a little bit to where I could get a run on him.
What a way to cap off the 1995 racing season. Your second win here at the Speedway this year. And what a season, a $4,000 paycheck. Boy, that'll set you up real nice for 1995.
My wife's already got that spent towards the new car.
Well, I'll tell you what, keep a little bit to fancy up the old gal right here. Jeff Hall Sample, what a job well done out here tonight. The winner of the Nadine Properties 75-lap Dirt Sportsman feature event. Second spot, once again, was Steve Hall. Third, Stan Jablonka. Fourth, it's Tim Heinley. And fifth, the 10S of Jimmy Spano. We see Chuck Bauer down there, of course. He will be the 1995 Mr. Dirt Sportsman Award recipient as he led a hard-fought battle all year long and almost cost him the title out here tonight. The folks from Nadine Properties are standing by right now, and we'll be getting them to draw the 50-50 out here. It's worth $648 tonight. So if you got those 50-50 tickets handy, we'll have Mr. Stanley Cohen from Nadine Properties stop over. Will be the Hard Charger Award recipient tonight. It'll be worth an extra $500 worth of bonus money, courtesy of Nadine Properties out of New York City. Stanley Cohen and contingents from Nadine Properties are presenting Jimmy Spano with that award right now. All the folks from Nadine Properties.
Well, we'll be back again next year, and it's about the best track in the United States.
Certainly got that right. Stanley Cohen, thank you once again for all your activity here this weekend. And the 50-50 award was a drive-in sold ticket. That number came from the drive-in area. So if you're back there and you got 99.7 on your FM dial, you heard that number, come on over to the home stretch straightaway. We'll have $648 waiting for you. Chuck Bauer getting his picture taken right now. with the checkered flag in hand, as he is 1995 Mr. Dirt Sportsman. And what a hard-fought battle that was. He almost surrendered it here tonight. We'll get a few quick words with him. And Chuck, what an exasperating night for the Vitale concrete car.
Well, I'll tell you, it seemed like every time there was a wreck, I was in it. The front end got run over. I got hit in the left rear, the left side. The night went terrible, and there at the end, I just counted. I knew how many spots I had to have, and I just kind of run it for all I was worth to get back to where I had to be.
A good job you did all season long across the Dirt Motorsports trail, but did you realize on that restart when you had that accident, had things stayed the way they were, we'd have been talking to Steve Hall right now.
Well, yeah, I knew where we had to be, and my hat goes off to Steve. He's a great competitor and run real well, and he did what he had to do, and I guess we just made a poor choice earlier, and this place was a lot different tonight than it has been in the past, but we got it, so I guess that's all that matters.
You still did a good job, and you capped off your season the best way you know with the 1995 Mr. Dirt Sportsman title.
Thank you very much.
Chuck Bauer, ladies and gentlemen, your 1995 Mr. Dirt Sportsman from McCreary Tire and, of course, Champion Spark Plugs.